Good Evening Bahamas coming up tonight.
The Deputy Prime Minister slamming Chester Cooper's comments.
Thanksgiving comes early for residents of Freetown.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. The lead police investigator in the Shane Gibson case telling jurors today she made a mistake when she held a meeting between a witness and somebody who had been arrested in relation to the case. Jared Higgs reports.
It was ASP Deborah Thompson's fourth day on the stand, and much of it dealt with a changed witness statement by star witness Jonathan Ash. Thompson testified that in hindsight, it was wrong to have a meeting with Jonathan Ash, Deborah Bastian, and their lawyers to clear up ambiguities in Ash and Bastian's statements. Under intense questioning from defense attorney Keith Knight, Thompson told jurors that those attorneys gave their clients advice during those meetings. She was then asked if the statements were altered to accommodate each other, replying that ambiguities were cleared up and where they didn't agree was taken out. Knight then asked Thompson if she knew that was wrong, to which she replied, "In hindsight, I'm aware that was wrong." Knight then asked Thompson if she knew it could affect the fairness of the trial, witnesses colluding so their evidence is synchronized. Thompson replied, "No, it would not affect the fairness of the trial." Knight went on to read comments made by Thompson during the meeting. Thompson says, "The reason I invited y'all back here is to clear up some ambiguities in your statements. It related to how much money you gave Miss Bastian because those accounts, it differs." She also says, "All right, so who wants to go first? And if there is anything you don't agree with, you let us know so we could clear this up." She added, "We need to iron this out because y'all are giving two different accounts as to what transpired." She also told Ash and Bastian in that meeting that DPP Garvin Gaskins had called her the previous night and he especially wants to see her statement. Knight then put to Thompson that what she did was dangerous. She disagreed with the suggestion. He then told her that what she did brought the investigative process into disrepute. She disagreed, saying the process was to clear up an ambiguity and she did not perceive it as being wrong at the time. Knight then put to Thompson that it was a deliberate, calculated act, which she denied, saying their substantive claims remained the same. The jury then sent two questions to Thompson. First, they asked if the questions asked to Mr. Gibson in his record of interview were created by Thompson, to which she said yes. The second question was why Jonathan Ash's witness statement wasn't recorded like Gibson's, and if it had to do with the fact that Gibson was a suspect and Ash a witness. Thompson agreed, saying it was because Ash was a witness and Gibson a suspect. Knight followed it up by asking why the September 2017 meeting between Thompson, Ash, Bastian and their attorneys wasn't recorded, to which Thompson replied because that room was occupied at the time of the meeting. Earlier in the day, the lead investigator was also questioned about an affidavit she signed in October 2018 concerning the change made to Ash's witness statement after that meeting in September 2017. Earlier in the day, the lead investigator was also questioned about an affidavit she signed in October 2018 concerning the change made to Ash's witness statement after that meeting in September 2017. Thompson says she swore that Ash foregoing the payment was interpreted as him meaning that he had to give the minister $250,000. Thompson was asked whether the word forego was mentioned before June 29, 2017. She replied no, he said he demanded $250,000. Knight then replied, "Who asked you that?" The Jamaican QC then asked Thompson when, in altering the witness statements, she wanted Ash and Bastian to be in sync. She replied yes about the payment. Knight then asked if before that they were not in sync, to which Thompson replied partially. Thompson also testified that during yesterday's proceedings she failed to mention that on June 29th, a day after interviewing Jonathan Ash in the presence of then Deputy Commissioner of Police Anthony Ferguson and Ash's attorneys, the group met again where Ash reviewed and edited his statement. Thompson says she came to the realization after reviewing her notes in the evening. Gibson's attorney asked Thompson whether Ferguson saw Thompson editing the statement, to which she replied no, Jonathan Ash edited the statement. Knight then asked Thompson if she left aspects out of the statement, to which she replied no. When asked if in Ash's absence she decided what to leave out and what to include in the statement, Thompson replied yes. Knight then turned his questioning towards the investigation Thompson conducted, asking her if she ever investigated the role Gibson had, if any, in issuing checks. Thompson replied, "I investigated the whole process." She was then asked if she carried out an investigation specifically to determine whether the defendant had influence to approve payments. Thompson replied that she spoke to Simon Wilson at the Ministry of Finance and he explained the process. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Well, PLP Deputy Leader Chester Cooper put the Minnis administration on blast last night for allowing Bahamas Power and Light to increase light bills following the passage of Hurricane Dorian. During a branch meeting, Cooper insisted that after major blackouts all summer, Bahamians don't want to pay BPL another red cent.
This new increase, in my view, is a tax on the Bahamian people.
As BPL tackles its more than $650 million debt, a rate reduction bond that was tabled in the House of Assembly on November 6 has brought into question how would electricity bills be affected. BPL's chairman, Dr. Donovan Moxey, was quoted in the Tribune saying BPL consumers should brace for adjustments to their bills via additional charges. But with continuous load shedding still an issue, Cooper said an increase in light bills isn't what consumers are interested in hearing at the moment.
So your light bill at home gonna be higher thanks to the new BPL tax. Your light bill at work and your business gonna be higher thanks to the new BPL tax. The tourism product will be more expensive and less competitive thanks to the new BPL tax. In everything they FNM want to do, they got a tax for you. And they don't have the basic respect to come to you, the people.
Since early June, BPL has been load shedding across New Providence due to a generation shortfall, something Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis called a crisis. Government has promised to have its new Wartsilla plant up and running by the end of the year.
We've had a brutal summer. They can't keep the light on. Yet, the bills go up. They talk about a rate reduction bond, and they haven't explained to us how they're going to reduce the rates.
Cooper said while everyone is eager to see less load shedding, no one can sit by and ignore the untimely increase in cost. He urged IRCA to keep a close eye on the power company.
This is going to hit every Bahamian squarely in the pocket. And they thought that they would just sneak this on us. But we're going to be watching, we're going to hold them accountable, and we're not going to allow them to hit you in the pocket again. Amen. And we're going to watch them, because whenever something big happens in this country, I want you to know that somewhere behind it are their cronies or their special interests.
Well, Acting Prime Minister Peter Turnquest hit back at the PLP Deputy Leader today, calling Cooper's claims ridiculous. Giorgio Bain has that.
Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest describing Chester Cooper's comments as ridiculous and saying the act of recovering funds is necessary to prevent further blackouts. PLP Deputy Leader Chester Cooper chastised the government for allowing Bahamas Power and Light to impose taxes on residents, especially following Hurricane Dorian, calling the government heartless and thoughtless. Those statements not sitting well with Turnquest, who called the comments a ridiculous assumption.
It's obviously a ridiculous assumption or statement, because the fact of the matter is that, as I just explained, this is a cost and a fee that is being imposed by BPL. It is not a tax. It is a real recovery of cost. And so I don't know how you construe that to be a tax. Maybe he can explain that.
Turnquest said the country has suffered for far too long with a power company that could not afford upgrades, resulting in a summer filled with power outages. He said this government will fix the mistakes of the past.
He only has to look within and ask his own party members how we got here. It is not a secret. There's no mystery here. And we have been upfront with the Bahamian people about the needs. And they're evident. So again, it is very easy for the opposition to say that we are increasing cost or that we've caused the inconvenience. But the reality is this has been a long building problem, and we're trying to deal with it. The lot falls on us, and we're going to fix it.
Cooper also asserted that the new tax could send the country into another recession. However, according to Turnquest, higher power bills won't be a factor.
This is not going to drive us into recession. We do not see that in our immediate future.
Reporting for our News, I'm Georgia Bain.
Finance Minister Peter Turnquest is defending the Prime Minister's 11-person delegation to Brussels. The delegation will return to the Bahamas tomorrow after spending 5 days in Belgium, where Dr. Hubert Minnis officially opened the Bahamas Embassy and mission to the European Union. Among those traveling with Minnis are Attorney General Carl Bethel, Foreign Affairs Minister Darren Henfield, Immigration Minister Ellsworth Johnson, Senior Policy Advisor Joshua Sears, a photographer, a videographer, the Communications Director, an aide and protocol officer.
Go back to what is the mission of the embassy. Why are we there? And we are there to enhance our relationships and deepen our cooperation with the OECD and the EU. And that necessarily involves financial services, which is the main beneficiary of this good relationship. And so it's important that the minister interacts with those who may be looking at our jurisdiction, either from a use of our jurisdiction for their financial services needs, or those who may be considering any kind of, or have any concern with the jurisdiction.
While in opposition, Minnis often accused members of the Christie administration of overspending on travel. However, the Minnis administration has also been criticized for Minister's frequent trips abroad, prompting Minnis to promise to report on his government's travel expenses. That report has yet to materialize.
The Attorney General, the same way. He has the first-hand knowledge of our laws, intimate knowledge of our laws, and can explain any challenges that our partners may have. The Ministry of Ministry of Foreign Affairs is there because it is a diplomatic office, and so he is there to support the embassy, and of course the Prime Minister is representing the country. So again, you know, there's a lot of mischief being put forth with respect to the size of the delegation, the quality of the delegation, but I think there is no doubt that each of those ministers is relevant to the mission.
Well, Christmas came early for one mother of two today after she was reunited with a wallet and cash she lost 11 years ago. Here's her story.
Hi. What's going on?
Back in 2008, Antoinette Bain walked into a Cable Bahamas store to pay her bill. Unfortunately, in that process, she lost her wallet, which contained her ID, ATM cards, and money. 11 years later, Rev's Director of Customer Care, Kerry Collins, just happened to find a box from her old office. And guess what was in it?
So I opened the wallet, and everything is still right here.
The old $20 and $50 bills.
The old 20, the old 5s, everything is right here. So I tried again. I tried again yesterday, called out to Miss Bain, and Miss Bain answered.
Wow,
and so
she's here.
She's actually in the store today, but she doesn't know why she's here in the store. I just asked to have an appointment with her. So she's over there. So we're going to get her and give her her wallet back.
So with that, we walked over to an unsuspecting Antoinette Bain.
And I came across this wallet. And it has your stuff in it.
Oh.
Including $91.
From that time.
From 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
So I figured that you could probably use that.
Thank you. You know, like this was gone.
The wallet was just as she left it, with everything still in it, including the $91 she thought she had lost.
Thank you very much, madam. Oh, thank you very much. I ain't given up on this.
And I was really, trust me, I was devastated, you know, but anyhow, it's just gone. I hope somebody who found it could use it.
11 years later, this nurse and mother of two says she's most definitely going to use her $91. In addition, Rev credited her account another $91. Bain said it was also interesting to see how much Bahamian bills have changed over that time.
Oh my God, and the old five, the five is still using?
Yes.
I never dreamed. I rubbed down because I thought something happened with my cable or something.
Still to come, Thanksgiving comes early for Freetown residents. Stay tuned.